Hello, everybody, and welcome back. So, the issue is somewhat subsided, but literally, it was like, oh, the issue's completely gone. But then, literally, right as soon as you're about to start going live, it started back up again almost immediately afterwards. I should have the problem resolved for next stream, but we're just gonna have to force our way through it this time because holy hell. So you come swooping back in. The bird lands with a bit of a. Again, it doesn't sound heavy to those off the bird, but you certainly feel it from on the bird.
Yeah.
That oof, from it being there. And when you hit that force, why don't you try to dismount it for me? Roll me another ride check.
Oh my god. Watch me just face plant now. Oh, that's not too bad.
So you do come sliding off of it fairly well. Just for good measure, you do take one more feather with it. You know, as you come down. But what was that?
Gotta get better at not doing that.
Yeah. And you do come down. The other two are sitting there and waiting for you as you're getting down. Rayron, perhaps for the first time. Wait a second.
Who?
Apparently, Neil had messaged us a minute ago in
Oh,
Discord.
like literally just then, yeah.
Yeah, as we were going live. Huh, that's funny. So.
Oh well, we may have his reaction then.
Yeah. Of you swooping in on the bird. So.
Yeah, that's gonna be a bit of a jarring difference. Like we left you with a conversation. Now I'm riding a bird.
But either way, so you do come dropping down off of the bird, and you see that the two of them are a bit more relaxed and whatnot. I want you to do me one quick little favor while waiting for his response. That whole while that you were out there and searching, the whole while that you were doing that, you obviously were looking about. Just roll me one quick perception check.
Yep. Oh, that was so close to a 20. It was like, yeah, no.
It was very, very bright. It was very difficult to. Yeah, there you go. You were enjoying the what is it? Falcor, or however he does it while he's riding the Lux Dragon. So it was very bright. It was very hard to keep track of everything that was going on as it was swooshing down behind you, underneath you, so far away. So you're standing there, and the two of them see you kind of drop off of the bird, having been gone for about 2.5 hours' time. I don't know if Jake has a reaction to that, or if it's Valorant that does.
Oh, that was something else.
I'm probably still over in the doorway, just being like, how was that?
Just gives a thumbs up.
Eye-opening?
Like, oh, very much so. And I'll start like doing the pats on the neck. Just, whew. That was impressive. At the start, she looked back as almost if she expected you two to join me. We may be able to all ride her at one point.
Maybe.
Well,
I wonder if I approach slowly, what the reaction would be.
He hops in without responding with a yes. He just hops in. So 1 second, everybody. I'm just gonna do the away screen because Neil just popped into the call. Just give me 1 second so I can fix it. I'm gonna turn up the music and mute us for a moment. Be back in probably a minute or less. Cam's all set. Neil's just fixing his sound. Hello, everybody, and welcome back. This time with the whole party. All right, maybe Neil will bring us luck with the goddamn tech issues. So, Neil, currently my monitor, I shouldn't say anything. Things are working out right now, Neil. So hopefully you're bringing us some UK luck. Oh, fuck, it blinked. So before we get back into what exactly we were doing at this moment, and I'll reset the scene in a moment, why don't we let the story retell itself? Who wants to tell the story? Jake, would you like to? Or Tesh, would you like to?
I think it'd be quite amusing to hear. Oh, okay, fine.
It would be funny from your perspective, right? Yeah. I don't know. I kind of want to hear it from one's point of view. Go ahead, Tesh.
Okay, fine. So last time we left it off, we'd walked into the room with an old man in it, or so I said, because turns out you two couldn't actually see him. It was only me, and then also I could only hear him. You guys couldn't either. So he gave me a massive info dump about stuff to do with the curse of Idir, which I also relayed back to you guys. So there is a curse on Idir, of which stops rulers. If there's anyone tries to rule in Idir, after a certain amount of time, it varies. They go crazy.
You already knew some of that information prior to even coming here, so he didn't go over that stuff on stream. But yeah, you knew that stuff. Yep, and you filled them in.
And then also he told us that there are 7 keeps that need to have the curse broken in them, or we can break 3 of the curses simultaneously in 3 keeps to break the curse. Yeah. And then he gave us a stash of items. He showed us on the map a vague idea of where they are. We got one of the castle keeps, but the others we couldn't really place. So we've got a big cache of items that had a whole bunch of potions and a whole bunch of scrolls, which you should see a couple in your thing. We also found a ring of protection and a belt, of which we don't know what it is because I couldn't identify it.
Yeah, a ring of protection.
Yes.
How kind.
We may be shuffling items around because we also just found another belt, which is what was the exact name again? I said it before.
Mummer's Rough.
Mummer's Rough, which is insane. It gives you a +10 to bluff to mimic someone's voice, and also allows you to throw your voice for 5 minutes using ventriloquism.
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
So
and then we have a belt, which we don't know what it does because yeah, I couldn't identify it.
Enough of the items, though. And so he told you more or less how to break the curse, where the keeps were, but unfortunately, you guys all rolled horrible on your knowledge checks to put two and two together. And
Oh,
and then he also told you, hey, by the way, if you sing her song correctly, she might let you ride her. You guys used the Mummer's Ruff right as you found it to try to convince the bird to calm down. And then you
giant
actually
bird that we found the nest of.
and Valorant literally just hopped on the bird's back and flew away, disappeared for 2.5 hours, and literally just landed as we were coming back. Literally just landed. And so it was one of those, like, as he landed, you guys see him climbing off the bird, like his hair wind blown. One was like, how was that? And he's like, pretty good. And that's literally where we left off, was him landing on the bird here on the landing again. The way we more or less played your character being, letting him say thank you to his girl.
She just brought me a coffee. She's actually the best.
Yeah, well, one of. You know, I married the actual, so yeah. So the way that we played your character was kind of like you were all torn up by Jaden.
Yeah.
So you were like barely paying attention and whatnot. All right, so let's go back. He literally just landed on the bird that he was gone from 2.5 hours. Hopefully we have no more issues moving forward because it's been super frustrating. Hopefully we have no more issues moving forward. And he literally just landed and was like, it was good. And that's where we are. Please, take it away. Tesh, I suppose.
Yeah, I'd be patting the bird. Just, oh, that was something else. This was quite impressive. I'd say you could probably approach just slowly and carefully. She seemed to look back as if she expected you two to join me before we left. So,
Do you make a habit of jumping on the back of wild animals?
No, but I was given instructions on how to calm her down, and if I did, I might be able to ride her. So I thought I'd try it, and it worked.
Yes, instructions by the magical voice.
For me, he was a full, proper person. I was able to grasp his arm and everything, even if you weren't.
Yes, I understand that, but I trust you see where I'm going with this line of inquiry.
Yes, I do, which is why, I mean, he pointed out where the cache was. He also told us, or told me, what is behind those doors. It's part of how we break the curse in this castle. There are the original cursed ones behind those doors, the magically locked ones. And once we dispatch those, the curse in this key will be broken.
I see. So, nice mug, Scott. So, the original cursed ones? The hobgoblin leaders?
The mole, yes.
And speaking of the mole, what about the knoll?
Well, I believe one was going to have a look for them before this beautiful thing showed up.
I had a look while you were gone. I didn't notice anything. Did you happen to see anything from the air?
Everything was so small. It was so high. Well, we have two options then of what to do. Do we dispatch the cursed ones, or do we see if the knoll are still around? I imagine you would like us to go find Jaden.
We ought to lay what's left of her to rest. However,
Yep.
Jaden wouldn't want us to simply go out there and die. I imagine her reaction to all of this would have been something along the lines of, So, what I'm saying is, if you would help me with this, I would be very much grateful. And for you, one, it kind of makes up for your wrongdoing in uncovering my friend's corpse, no? You know, two good deeds make a right.
I would have helped anyway, but if you say so.
Um,
Do you think, Valorant, that you could fly down with the giant owl there to the door, and
I was just going to.
you and it check out the entrance?
He
I
says
was
giant
just-
owl. Why don't the two of you guys roll me a knowledge nature check?
It's not an owl at all, is it?
We rolled a natty one.
Yeah. Knowledge nature, okay.
Come on, natty ones.
Oh, damn it.
You too, Rayron.
Oh, okay. Here
I
we
at
go.
least know it's not an
I
owl.
want Rary to look at it when he's like he's like that giant owl, and Raren's like,
First of all,
I was so close to it too.
Valorant, he says giant owl. You just kind of like, yeah, I mean, maybe it is an owl. I was thinking maybe more like a falcon or something, but it could be an owl, sure, yeah. And however, you're looking at, you know for a fact this is an eagle. It is a giant eagle, and more than that, you know that giant eagles aren't just like enlarged versions of their similar cousins. They're also very keen. They're more intelligent than a typical beast of any size would be. They can understand some languages, usually very limited, and more than that, they tend to have goodly hearts.
this is no mere giant owl. This is a giant eagle. Apparently, they're much more intelligent than their smaller brethren.
She
I'm
was able
sure
to
this is an owl.
understand my words before. So.
If it was an owl, why would it be up during the day?
He has a point.
I don't know. Maybe there's daylight hours owls.
Is
Just a
that
point
not
of
what an
note.
eagle is?
Just a point of note, she can
Touche.
understand common. So, at least she seemed to be able to understand some common.
Oh, okay. Yes, that's true. They have a good sense for certain languages and people. Apparently, try not to piss the big bird off.
Will do.
Is there any chance you could look for bad dog things?
I can. I was able to steer her when I was flying, so I can try and fly her down and see if we can't have a look at the door and see if we see anything there.
Scott, you said that there were. Did you say there were bones and stuff like it had been eating?
Yep.
Do any of them? I don't know if I would know, but do any of them look like null bones?
It's a really good question. Why don't you look about, and it's going to be another knowledge nature check. You're so good at those.
Not really. Knowledge nature.
Let's get another one, just for fun. So you are picking up the bones and looking at them.
Roll 20 has died for me.
That's
Oh
fine.
no!
That's fine. So you pick up the bones and you're looking at them, and you're getting this really, really keen impression that the bones here, you're pretty sure they're not human. You're actually pretty sure these might be orc bones. Look at the structure of them, the thickness of the femurs, the length of them and whatnot. Orcs are big in size. You get like, I don't know. You're almost positive these are orc bones. And it's like one of those things where as you realize that and you look up at the bird and it's just like predator eye. And this is a bird of prey, right? Its eye is looking at you. Almost like you might be delicious.
Oh no!
Do I know of any orcs out this way?
You don't know of them, but you're also not familiar with Idir itself. You know that the most orcs are out of the barren lands, but that doesn't mean there aren't cities or colonies or caves or whatever of orcs elsewhere.
It's okay. You're only half orc. You're only half tasty.
Oh, that's okay. Half orcs are a little bit taller than typical orcs, aren't they? Yeah.
Oh no. I would at this stage probably be going back to the bird, who we need to give a name at some point, and I would just say I need to go check out the door. down below in the valley. May I ride you again?
The bird doesn't say or do anything. It just kind of like keeps twitching its head the freaky way that a bird does. It doesn't seem to react to your words.
I'll walk out to the balcony then. Okay. And see if it follows.
You walk out to the balcony, and it was kind of already out in the balcony as it was. So you turn to it and said to it, but you kind of go walking out into the balcony. When as it's watching you, and it watches you closely, its eye watching you.
Yeah.
You're welcome, Neil. That's for you. So as you go walking out to the balcony, the bird eventually kind of does like this big hop, and it turns like a solid 110 degrees, and then starts to lower itself, similar to how it did beforehand, allowing you to climb on.
I will do so.
Same as before, you start climbing on, but as you climb on, you're like, God damn it! You try to put that. You're like, I don't think I fully pulled the feather out. And
I will yell out to, if you can shut the door, shut it. There's no one down there, and you can shut the door. Yeah.
The issue is I don't know if I can lock it from the outside.
I don't know if the lock engages itself or not. I'm not sure.
That's worrying. Why are you rolling?
Chat.
Oh, okay. Oh, how many? That's a lot of feathers.
So you go hopping onto the thing and expect to kind of like drop down below and lock the door as he had suggested. So you hop on, and the thing immediately, same as before, hop up onto the railing and then dives down. And it starts doing that power bomb dive as it did beforehand. And eventually pulls out a dive. This is when I need another ride check from you.
Yep. Oh no! Really? This is the time?
And as it pulls out of that dive, it's like boom, pulls out. You and like fistfuls of feathers, probably about 17 of them.
You predicted it.
The thing like pulls up, breaks the like slides the momentum, outwards and upwards. But from a distance up, you like, can't hold on, and you go tumbling off the back end of the bird and hit the ground below. Oh God, you to hit that ground. I mean, you're gonna try to hit that ground as gracefully as possible. Roll me a athletics check, but I don't expect it to go well.
I might just be dead.
If Neil's speaking, he's muted. The way we like Neil.
Variant did chastise you for getting on the back of random animals.
Athletics check, sir, or acrobatics, whatever it's called.
Is it acrobatics?
Acrobatics, yeah. Sorry, acrobatics. It's 5e in this edition. I just confused them. Okay,
that's not too bad.
You're able to reduce it by 10 feet because there's a 30-foot drop when you go flying off this thing. That's going to be a 30-foot drop, meaning you're still taking 2d6 points of damage. So let me roll that for you.
I'm probably just going to be dead here.
No, you're right. Believe in the cushioning power of belief.
That's exactly my health.
Well, that's good news, because if it's exactly your health, that means you're not out of health. Give me one moment. So as you go flying off of the thing's back, you literally are flying off the thing's back, and you just kind of close your eyes expecting this nasty impact to hit you. You're expecting it to just suck. It's going to hurt. This is not going to be fun.
You were back and you took my luck with you.
1 second.
I rolled 2 20s earlier.
However, as you're falling to the ground, you feel the blessing of the martyr wash over you. You actually feel her warmth. You feel her light upon you as the sun's pouring down onto your face. It gives to you temporary health points of 10, as well as a couple of other minor details that don't matter at the moment.
Oh, damn.
And as you hit the ground, you hit the ground, and it does steal the wind from your breath, but does not hurt at all. Much like as if you had fallen into feathers.
Well, that's weird. Okay, I would stand up and look around and be like, oh, this is bad.
You guys see that the bird has pulled into the dive. You saw him fall off the bird, and you both see him hit the ground with a sickening thud. And
But then
then,
you see him get up.
and then there's like a moment of pause between the two of you, where it's like a
I
bit
think
of
he's dead. He's moving. Oh my god! Every bone in his body must be broken. How is he? He's standing up. That's not.
And still holding the feathers in his hands, he stands up from the ground, and the bird pulls out of its its climb and starts swooping around again, and starts to swoop around in the area overhead as well. You guys are over again up top and looking down below. You see he's down there, and he kind of looks up over at you guys, and you see the two of them standing there.
One just yells down, "Shut the door!"
Can I see the door from where I am?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's going to take you a minute to get back over there because you fell a bit of a distance from it. But yeah, you can get over to the door. So as you go walking over to the door, like I said, it takes you a minute or so to get there. What are the two of you doing inside? Do you go to greet him on the inside, or are you just going to let him climb up on his own?
I assume the bird would just pick him back up and bring him back up.
Oh, he has to shut the door from the inside.
Yeah, the door
he does.
shut from the outside. Yeah.
You can't just pull the door shut.
He can, but it won't lock or any stretch of the imagination.
Okay, alright. I don't know. What do you want to do, Ray?
That's the thing. We don't know if the gnolls are still in there. Okay, so when I'm approaching the door, I would make sure if it's open, or I would look from a distance if it's open or shut.
You try to stay as long a distance as possible. What I want for you, because obviously you're being cautious, roll me a stealth check and roll me a perception check.
Okay. Stealth and perception. That's not too bad. That's worse, but still not too bad.
Okay, so you stay a distance away, trying to stay hidden as low to the ground as you can, so on and so forth in the valley, and the door looks open still. But you don't see any movement about, no gnolls or anything like that. Which makes sense, because one has been looking down here for a while and hasn't seen anything either.
Okay, then I would approach cautiously and try to see if I see tracks leaving the door.
Stealthy or another perception check? Sorry, survival or another perception check?
Where's my perception? It's
Survival's a
4.
lower DC, but you can roll what you'd like.
I'm probably lower. Is there a difference of 2?
There's a difference. Usually if I say lower, it's on average, it's a 5 difference. Sometimes it's 10, sometimes it's 2,
I'm
3.
gonna do survival because it's only 2.
Okay. So looking down, you actually do see tracks leaving, not so much tracks of the actual gnoll footprints, though you can see the paws, at first, kind of stepping off, but you lose track of those pretty quickly. Clearly something was dragged out of here as well. You can see the depression in here where something was dragged, and you can see a little bit of blood splattered here and there. More at first, but less as you follow the tracks, just a smidge, not far, 50 feet or so. Less as it goes on. Something else was dragged out of here as well. Almost to satisfy your curiosity, when you make your way back and look inside the door, you can see that there are no gnolls down here, and there's no Jaden either.
Well, shit. I would wait to see what the bird's doing. Is she coming down to...
After it finished swooping around a couple times and saw that you were fine, it eventually makes its way over to the balcony and to kind of like lands on the balcony itself over near the other two.
Okay, then I guess I would start climbing the stairs. I would pull the door and shut it with the... Not... Oh, wait, have they triggered the blades on the thing yet? Or is that trap still there?
That's still there, but that's kind of like built in. It's like almost like a design that's made to be inside.
Okay.
Of it. Well, you know that you can circumvent that trap by,
using the struts. So I would do that.
Exactly, yeah, and gloves and stuff. So you would pull the door shut, as you had said. You would turn it in a smarter way. It's a bit more difficult, but you kind of get the hang of like, oh, I see. This is actually supposed to be. It's one of those things where after you've done it 15, 30 times, it becomes like a rote action. But you can see how it could clearly injure somebody, but also trick people up. So you do lock the door, and you see that clank on either side. You start making your way up the stairs. As you're making your way up the stairs, you eventually get to the top. It takes a while, and you have to avoid those traps and so on and so forth. And you're not as slick or as sleek as Rayrin is, but you do get to the top of the stairs eventually. And when you get up there, you see in that hallway, there's I believe the dog is skewered on the blades. Not the dog, sorry. My apologies, what's called hyena is skewered on the blades inside the pit trap, which is currently open, and the other two gnolls are lying dead in the hallway. One where one of you guys had cut him down, and the other one in front of the door with a couple of darts sticking out of its chest. It's kind of like slumped to the ground there. Clearly, these two had been left behind. Looks like, unless there were more than 3 to begin with, there was only one survivor, and that's probably the one that took Jaden with it as it left.
Oh, all right, so one of them got hit with darts. So that was one of the ones we didn't kill. So that was a trap there that it triggered.
Because we heard the door. We heard like a click or whatever from the door as the traps were triggered.
That's
but then
right, we
the
did,
continued.
Yep.
So it's probably a poison or something.
So you do have to cross this this gap here. They have not opened the door from the inside, so you're gonna have to make that jump check on your own.
No, what I'm doing is I go up to the other side of the pit, and I ray of frost the door 3 times.
They're not paying attention. They're out there looking at the bird. They ain't paying attention 2 rooms ago. I look at it. Nah, I'm just kidding. They're probably waiting by the door. So one of them would start to see the door kind of like frost up a little bit on the other side.
I imagine it would make some noise as well.
Hurl a snowball.
I mean, that'll definitely make some noise, but I want to save those spells in case I need them.
Normal people knock.
Normal people don't jump across pits if they don't have to.
So you guys open the door for him, and the same rope thing that you did before, and he kind of like grabs on from the side. He runs and jumps as you guys on the other side give the big heave and pull him across the pit so it's safe. And you guys are now here in the hallway with the dead hyena and the 2 dead gnolls. Door open, and the only way down is back out here, back down the door that you just sealed shut again.
We should check the if they have anything on them. I doubt they would, but you never know.
Mm-hmm. You search over the gnolls' bodies, try to see if there's anything of significance. You find scraps of like rotting meat and so on and so forth. You do. They had the javelins that they were with, or spears. My apologies, that they were hunting with to begin with. But overall, no coin, no monetary value whatsoever. Calm down. You just got a bunch of potions and scrolls. Okay, greedy.
Yeah, no, it's the natural thing.
Yeah.
I would drag the gnoll body inside, and I don't know if the bird wanted to eat him or not.
It's not a bad idea, honestly. Also, give it a taste for Noel. That's good.
Do you drag both the gnolls in?
Yeah.
So you bring both the gnolls in. It goes over to one of them, and almost immediately as you put it there, it like looks at it, almost gives it a smell, and then you watch the first peck of its beak. As I said before, its beak broke the iron manacles that were there beforehand. First peck of its beak comes down, grabs either side of the rib cage, and literally in a loud, sickening, snap, popping, crunching noise, the entire rib cage just kind of explodes under the force of its mouth strength. You can see it just then picks the thing up, and the whole body comes up, and it kind of like wiggles it around back and forth, puts it down, puts a talon on top of it to hold it still, and then rips open the whole chest cavity as it starts pulling it up.
It's a good point. I would make sure he didn't drag the one that had darts in it over.
So as you see, like as you're dragging the other one over as well, it's already ripping that one up. You're kind of like, maybe not this one. And,
maybe not.
and so you kind of like leave that one inside, probably maybe even push it in the pit or whatever it is that you guys want to do.
Actually, that's probably not a bad idea. Just into the pit. It's already smelly because of the hyena.
Mm-hmm. There you go. And you guys are actually able to reset that pit trap if you want to, and you know where the 5 steps are to avoid to make sure the pit trap doesn't drop. It's just it's literally a DC 5 acrobatics check to not trigger the pit trap. It's super easy.
Oh, okay. Let's
said that before.
I know.
And then I would go over to Rayron and just, I found tracks or drag marks leaving the door at the base. I think only one survived the traps, but unfortunately, I think it took her with it as it left. I already suggested to one that, given that we have means of rapid transportation, that now we know where this is, we deal with your both of your time sensitive issues first. So we can go find Jaden first, then find one's friend, and then we can worry about the curse.
Yep. I suppose that's the best choice. We should, what time of day is it?
It's actually the whole conversation, everything that happens that you guys did with that old man was in the morning, and due to the flight and everything, it's barely even noon at this point. We're talking like it's like 11 to noon. It's early.
We should set off now. There's not much chance of a knoll being able to get away if it's dragging something, I would have thought. Perhaps
that's
one would be able to track it.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yep. Also, I assume you both saw the fall. It didn't hurt. Moreover, it was strange. I feel a little more resilient, at least for now, than I did before.
It didn't hurt.
No, it felt like I was landing on feathers.
Nonsense.
Rogar protects you.
Someone definitely is.
Baron crosses his arms and says, "You must be in shock." And then he's going to make a heal check. He like starts prodding your ribs, feeling your back. Like he's like, spine must be fractured, right?
Apart from the jab of the spear in my shoulder from down in the door, it's starting to heal, but not really.
Yep. Nope. He's fine. It's perfectly fine. So no, there is no issue wrong with him whatsoever.
You used some sort of healing.
Not yet, no.
That's not right. You
No,
fell
it isn't.
a rather long
Yes.
way.
I'd thought I was dead, but here I am.
Very well. Keep your secrets.
Let us go do what must be done.
So when you're talking about tracking this knoll, for one to do that, it's going to have to be done on foot. But you were also talking about riding on the eagle. So what's the plan, to track the knoll on foot or to ride on the eagle's back?
The eagle thing was for going to get one's friend, because that's a much greater distance thing and we don't know exactly where we need to go.
But this other one's more time sensitive because it's here and now.
Raren would suggest on foot, because you're going to like lose time by making time, because you'll just fly over whatever it is.
Exactly.
It could just be a little speckled hyena camouflaged knoll in a bush with a corpse.
I would suggest that we close the door we know how to unlock as well on the inside, because we can't close the outer door properly.
Yes. Would make an excellent camp here. We should do well to not abandon it.
Yes, we must make sure to be careful about opening those doors. One thing that also I would suggest is that if we do come back here, that I be the first one to enter the keep, as he made mention that I was part of the reason why those doors didn't just immediately open when we arrived.
The cursed doors.
Behind the doors, there are the cursed ones, yes.
Those doors.
Yes.
And you stopped that. How?
Remember I told you about the visions?
Yes.
Well, he said that part of the reason why I got them and why I was led to you and one here and back to this castle was to help break the curse. I have, for some reason or another, being chosen as one of the ones to do that, as you two have apparently.
I see. So you're a prophet now, an oracle.
I think less knowing the future, more following instructions on how to fix something that happened in the past.
I see.
So, geez, Neil, why weren't you paying attention when he was explaining everything to you before? God, it's like a whole hour of RP about this curse. So anyways, so you guys decide that, obviously when you come back, if he's not amongst the party when you come back, that the doors will pop open as a feature triggered by this keep itself. So you're going to make your way down the stairwell, out the door. You're locking the door up top that leads into like the balcony, main area, hallway area, so on and so forth. But you walk down the stairs, you go out that door, you unlock it again with the inner struts and whatnot, and then you push the door open, you come around the other side, and you push it shut again. And when you're finally down there, you don't relock it from the outside, because one, it's very hard to do, but you just push it shut, so at least it's shut. And if somebody breaks in, they probably have to deal with the cursed ones, so it sucks to be them anyways. And here's where you guys are going to start taking your trek, following after the path of seemingly gnolls dragging Jaden, or a gnoll dragging Jaden. You don't know how much of a heads up this gnoll got. Maybe it was a couple of hours. Maybe it left immediately after the other one died from darts, in which case it has more than half a day's head start from you. But it certainly is, actually, I think even, more than half a day's, almost a full day's head start. But it's dragging something, and it's by itself. So maybe you guys can make up some ground. You start trying to follow these tracks that are easy to find at first, but a little bit more difficult to follow. Who's rolling that follow? And don't forget, you get the plus to assist. I believe that's 1.
I imagine probably.
1 is the one to do the tracking.
Alright, Neil, don't suck all of the luck away, thanks.
I'll try. Can't help it. It's not a choice.
So that's an 11?
It's not a choice.
Okay, well, sure it's not. Sure. So you guys start following these tracks for as long as you possibly can. You travel for the better part of today, up until evening time. You have something in your favor. Not only are you following the tracks, but you also know which direction the tracks are headed. Valorant had seen 2 days beforehand where it was that group of hunters that had killed the original stag had found themselves rounding the corner too. So unfortunately, while you lose the tracks and lose exactly where it is this creature is going, you at least know which direction it's heading. And so you continue to head that direction, even if not following it directly. And you do travel until evening time. Now, the sun's starting to set. It is getting late. And you had been following here as long as you can. You don't know how much further until you get to where it is that this knoll is going, or even where that knoll is in relation to yourself. But you do know that sometime, at least the next few hours, you're going to have to set up camp. You're probably another hour or so of traveling without any concerns. But beyond that, your feet, your legs are already getting tired. Your eyes are already starting to feel heavy. How much further do you wish to push? Where do you choose to go from here?
Valorant would be letting them handle this. This is not his area of expertise.
One, I would express my concern that will be night soon, and that'll bring its own set of challenges, as well as a good time for gnolls to be active. But I would leave it. I would say, Rayron, it's up to you. We can push on, but I don't know if I can follow these in the dark.
If we stop now, we risk losing the gnoll altogether. Not to mention, if the gnoll hears us and doubles back, we'll be easy prey if most of us are sleeping. If we don't push further forward during the day, then the gnoll will simply make time and we'll never catch up.
I'm going to pull a sunrod. I'm not going to use it now, but I'll pull a sunrod out of my bag and point out that I have this should we need it in an emergency. this should help us if we have to fight it in the dark. It can give us light in about 30 feet. How long does it last?
Light of Sunrod, give me sight beyond sight. Oh.
Yeah, so it's 30 foot and then 30 foot additional. Oh no, that level up by 1, so it's just 30 foot.
Yeah. No, it sheds light in 30-foot radius, and then 30 more feet in dim light. But if you have
cool.
low light vision, which I think one of you do, that means you have 60 feet of bright
That's
light,
me, yeah.
and then 60 feet of low light beyond that. So you can actually see pretty far.
6 hours, yeah. Oh, so this lasts for 6 hours. So if we need to use it, we can. It'll be a beacon of where we are, but it might come in handy if we need to make sure we can see what's coming.
I forgot I have dark vision, so I probably track it in the dark. But
Yeah, so we'll only use this once combat starts.
it
then.
would, yeah, it would.
Oh yeah, I could see the duck.
probably work there.
Yeah, it's one of those things where as it gets dimmer, it's like, fuck, I can't see because it's dim light. And then it goes really dark. And it's like, oh, never mind, I can see again.
It's funny how that works. So so you guys choose to press on then, or do you choose to camp?
I think we're choosing to press on.
Okay.
And I would have dancing lights around me and Rayron, but back, like, to make sure that we're not affecting one's vision, just so we can see where we're going.
Yeah. You guys hang back a little bit from him, but not so far so that it's not like a rounds to catch back up to him. Gotcha. I
Yeah,
imagine
exactly.
also, just because your characters aren't dumb, one of you is wise. I also imagine you have the dancing lights set a little low so that hopefully they're not emitting
really
light
good,
in the
yeah.
sky. And so,
Just so we can like see what we're stepping on, and we're not stepping into like a pitfall or something.
Probably hovering in front of us rather than above us.
Yeah,
Instead
no,
of little
definitely.
beacons saying,
down like
"Do
by us.
it."
I was gonna say almost like knee heights, kind of like that
Yeah,
range sort of a thing. Yeah.
exactly,
All right. So, anyways, you guys are pressing on. Roll me another survival check, please. 1. The DC's higher now because it is late, but pressing on that first hour is easy for you guys to do, but then you really start and aching, as I had said prior. If each of you can make me a fortitude save, that'd be sexy as fluff.
Come in there first. Oh no. Hey,
Well, there it is. Oh damn!
chuck me one up for the
no.
tally, boys.
So, it's funny that your fortitude save says +2 versus enchantment spells and effects on it, but I suppose it probably just pops that for all saves.
Yeah, I think so.
It doesn't apply to fucking fortitude. So I enchant your body.
I
I mean, that's a legit thing, right?
I suppose. So as you guys are pressing on, obviously this is something of significance to you. It's actually 1 and Rayron with greatest of ease, probably with determination, and 1 determined as well, knowing the significance of losing a comrade and the fact that this is the 3rd one in a short period of time for this person that you're traveling with. Are able to easily ignore the soreness in your feet. Easily ignore. But the city boy. Oh, God.
Yeah, the dice know. The dice know.
Even his knees ache. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of one of those. He sees himself, like, reaching towards the ration pack more often, constantly nibbling and biting. Like,
I spent a lot more energy than I thought trying to hang on to the bird earlier for 2.5 hours.
That's a good point. That's a good point. His hands and everything are tired. So unfortunately, he's a little tired and gains the fatigue condition. So
Okay.
I'm actually gonna slap down your character sheet for you. So
that's cool.
Fatigue condition is -2 strength and dex, and you cannot run or charge while it lasts. And then you guys continue to follow
That's
the
not
tracks.
too
Like
bad,
you
I
actually
think.
found the tracks, and more importantly, you actually found that they're very fresh. You found that these are very fresh tracks, and you're like, 2 things. 1, not only are there significantly more knoll tracks in this area than you had seen beforehand, these tracks being maybe about a day old, but the tracks that you were following into the knoll tracks that you found again are following are very fresh, less than an hour old. If you really push yourselves hard, even though you're now technically in knoll territory, you're almost positive of it, or at least the outer reaches of it, you're pretty sure you might be able to catch them. Do you push yourselves? Do you push yourselves to get there?
Correct me if I'm wrong. This looks like a single Knowles tracks.
Correct. Absolutely.
There are other Knoll tracks, but they look much
They're
older.
about a day old. These ones are less than an hour old.
the theory is we're now in null territory. There's one null dragging her body back.
That's what you believe.
If we act now,
Yeah.
we can fight a single null. If we
I
don't,
think that-
I should imagine we'd lose our chance to save the body forever. I can keep going, and I'm happy to push on alone if needs be.
I will go. I am tired, but I think it's a worthy thing to do.
And so you guys continue your push. I need fortitude saves from all of you again. Technically, I need one from you as well, Tauren, but losing does not step it up immediately. What's up?
I rolled a 20. I don't need to.
Yeah, that's not how it works, buddy. What do you think? You're special? Ah! So, Rayrin, you are determined. You really are determined to get there. But unfortunately, it's just maybe it's the exhaustion, the emotional state that you're in, so on and so forth, that exhausts you a little bit further. But unfortunately, you are also going to gain the fatigue state as you're pressing on even further, trying to get to where this is. I'll describe this stuff in a moment. Valorant, you continue to feel yourself sinking deeper and deeper into the sinkhole of
physical checks.
into the sinkhole of exhaustion right now. You're borderline down for the count, but you are able to keep pushing on and with a yawn, still moving forward. However, one, your life is walking. You've traveled from the other side of the continent to this side. You're not afraid of walking, and there's someone who is a prisoner, at least best case scenario, prisoner of now, and you worship a god that doesn't suffer such things. Besides, you can almost smell the combat. You've been following a trail of blood for a while. It's iron odor in the air. You can really, really start to feel the fight coming up on you. It's tingling at your toes. You guys are making your way following these tracks. As I said, they get fresher and fresher and fresher until the point where you can actually see there's a bit of a warmth in an area where clearly they had just left maybe a minute beforehand, 2 at most. You decide instead of just pushing forward immediately, you have to stop and make a decision. Are we going to charge forward and try to catch this thing as quick as possible, knowing that every step it takes further is a step into more danger for you? Or are you going to try to move just a smidge slower, play your cards well, and sneak up on this thing, catch it by surprise? Rush in headlong, or try to sneak upon it and make it quiet?
We should ambush the beast.
Oh,
Quick, quiet death serves us better than a yelling, screaming creature as it bleeds out.
this belt makes it so I can throw my voice very easily for 5 minutes. We could set a trap. I can throw my voice into the center of it and strike at once.
It's not a bad idea.
Cast level 5, that's 5'10", so that's... range of that ventriloquism is 35 feet.
Okay, I will say it's about 30, a little bit more than 30 feet.
Will we have to do a survival check to find a decent ambush place?
You do. You also don't know exactly where it is, so it's gonna be a difficult survival check.
We need to find it, sneak up. What I'm suggesting is we sneak to where we know where it is, and then instead of then going the rest of the way to it, we attract it to us.
Oh, I see. Try to call it back to you.
Yeah, into a trap essentially.
Gotcha. So why don't we first make our stealth checks to sneak up to it, because we're not just going to charge at it as fast as we can. So that's assuming you're okay with this plan as well, Jake. I don't think you put your 2 cents in.
Baby, fatigue is bad for stealth. Woo-wee.
It's not too bad. It's only one less for me.
Yeah, I've got armor on as well, so.
Oh yeah.
Hey,
I mean,
can't
you're
keep
still
a good
fine.
deal down.
Oh,
Like-
that was scary for a moment when it was like 4. Nah, I'll give you 14. Oh,
And
That
so
was lucky.
everybody but one has a -1 on this, just as a reminder. So you have
Okay.
a 17, a 14.
oh no, it's taken that off already.
Yeah.
Oh,
I-
'cause
I
you have
already
fatigue
put-
on there.
Yeah, I put
Yeah.
fatigue.
Oh, thank you, boys. My apologies.
Yeah.
So you have two 15s and an 18. You guys are easily able to sneak up. You can actually see it. You can see it from where you are. You can hear the thing huffing as it's dragging her with a bit of something tied around her leg and dragging it over its shoulder, continuing to push on and rush forward as fast as it can, dragging her body limply, arms overhead, behind it as it's moving forward. You can't tell any details. It's too dark and too far to see any details of what state her body's in, if it's already started to eat her or not. But it's clearly just a limp corpse in his hands, and that he's dragging behind him. And so as he's moving forward, you guys are able to rush up quickly. If you're looking to set up an ambush, you need to do it now. You quickly scan the area. Survival check. Nobody can aid. Nobody can aid in this. So allow one person to roll survival and call the shot real quick.
I think we know who that's going to be. Oh, no. Do you want to use the luck? We have a luck.
No.
Nah.
Okay.
You have to hold on to those.
Yeah.
You come rushing up. You look about where it is. You honestly think there's really no better spot than where you are right now. If you were to just to get it to stop. Just to get it to stop for a moment. You're about 60 feet from it. Just to get it to stop for a moment. Then you guys can pincer tactic. There's no better spot than here.
Can I whisper to Valorant also to maybe throw his voice and just try and imitate that laughter of the gnolls?
Oh, you know what? Yeah, that's a good idea.
And so you do that. You activate the
Get it
ventriloquism.
to stop and turn.
Kind of like not super familiar with how the belt works yet. It's not instinctive for you yet. You kind of like reach down and grab like the belt with like a loop your thumb underneath it and grab like a big
There's
handful
a
of it.
lusty power pose.
Yeah. And then you get you trigger the magics inside of it. You can feel your voice leaving you like Ursula pulling it with her magic talons and throwing it across the way. And you make your bluff check for me.
Okay.
Raren would be prepping his crossbow during this, by the way.
That is a 27 total.
I would also, I'd like to prepare to cast Shield of Faith before I engage in combat.
Sure. So you can cast that because Shield of Faith lasts for what, minutes? A minute per level?
A minute, I think.
Yeah, so you can cast that like literally right now as you're doing it. It makes a perception check though because it has a somatic component, doesn't it? Sorry, a verbal component to Shield of Faith, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So let's see.
Hopefully I can time it with
I was
the
about
laughter.
to say, if it's quieter than the real loud laughter.
That's fine. And you were more or less saying, I want to do it at this, like I want to hold my turn first.
Yeah.
So that's fine, of course. So you do that. You cast. Do you cast any spells there, Rayron?
No, he's prepping the crossbow.
Okay. So all of a sudden, you throw your voice over there, and with a DC 27, that's a result of 27. You do it sounds at least to like a perfect hyena laugh. You guys see, as I said, he's 60 feet away from you, so it's very dim light. It's hard to see for the human and the half elf, the Perrin. It's hard to see this creature's silhouettes in the darkness. There's starlights and whatnot that illuminates the area, but it still does not pierce through the dim light for you, Valorant. So the two of you are fighting inside dim light. However, it is easily noticeable, even at the very edge of your vision, for you there, one. He throws his voice, laughing. You cast your spell just in time to feel the Shield of Faith coming over your body. It stops and turns back. It looks in the area, seems to be confused for a second. There's a moment of silence, and then it starts to bark back, speaking its language. Yips and yip sounds, sounds that you have a hard time making out what they are, but they almost have similar consonants, or maybe even similar vowels. I don't know. To the Mole ancient language, which at least one of you can speak. So you can feel like similarities there, but you can't understand what it is it's saying. It calls back, and then
I would
is
just
silencing.
continue laughing.
You laugh again.
I would just continue to laugh.
It seems like confused and almost starts to chuckle itself for a moment, and it drops the rope and starts walking back slowly. Not slowly like cautiously, slowly like, oh, my shoulders kind of slowly. And it starts making its own walk back towards the area, looking about for where it is that it's hearing the noise from. Now is the time, if there ever was one. If anybody's making stealth checks, now is the time you make your stealth check. If you choose not to make a stealth check and instead you choose to surprise round attack, because this is your surprise round. You have one round and then everybody rolls initiative.
Let's all just do our surprise round now. Actually.
Yeah, that's what I'll do.
This is your surprise round. So again, attack, stealth up, do whatever you want to do.
What do we get for a surprise round?
It is flat-footed, which means it does not apply its dexterity bonus to AC, and if you have things like sneak attacks or whatever, they apply.
I'm gonna do a snowball. Basically, as soon as I see any sort of attacks, I'm gonna like that. I'm just doing the laugh still. The second I see either of them attack, I just throw a snowball. So I'd wait for one of them first.
So you have the crossbow out. Do you want to go first there, Neely boy?
Yep. So a blue glow extends the length of the crossbow. Oh wait, no. Can I do that? Let me just confirm. Yep. Good. It extends the length of the crossbow, returns back, disappears, and then he's gonna go ahead and pull the trigger.
Okay.
So that's +1 enhancement bonus, which is +1 on damage and +1 on to hit. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
+1. +1.
And as you pull that trigger, unfortunately, that where I'm using it my Witcher combat music from is not currently working, so I'll just use this music for the moment.
It might hit with the flat-footed.
A flat-footed Knoll, that actually very well might hit, but I need you to do something for me. Because of the fact that you're attacking in dim light, I need you to call out 2 numbers between 1 and 10, and then roll me a flat d10.
Oh shit!
Call out 2 numbers.
Yep, between 1 and 10. Tell me what 2 numbers are, and then roll a d10 for me.
7 and 4.
And your chance to hit, I believe, technically is a 11, correct? Because it doesn't factor your magic, or it does.
That is factoring in my magic.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that is actually a AC of 10. So you do fire the crossbow bolt, and you narrowly miss the beast. Maybe you did technically clip it. Maybe its hide was just too thick, or its fur just too thick for it to actually connect and do damage. But it does whiz by its shoulder, just barely missing it with that attack. Maybe it was because of the darkness, or maybe it was just because your aim wasn't true. But unfortunately, you did not clip the thing with your attack. Immediately after that, the snowball goes. You hear the chanting. You hear the laughter of a hyena a good distance from you. All of a sudden, turn into a strange chanting sound. Like, again, thrown from where you guys are. It's like, oh, Vorschnakal. And then a snowball, and then you can see the thing's like, what the? And then looks to like the sound, this thing's, and then it starts to click in the creature's head. What the hell's happening? The snowball is thrown. You successfully get through your armor. You hurl the ball. It hits the creature for 2 points damage. It's still about 40 feet away from you.
Oh, I can't. I wouldn't have been able to attack it then. If
okay. Because you would have moved up a snowball. So would you have rushed forward and thrown the snowball? My apologies.
Yeah.
So you would have rushed up to 10 feet, like thrown the snowball, and then 2 points of damage, as you had just stated. My apologies.
Yep. And it has to make the save. It has to make the fortitude saving throw, and if it or it's staggered for a round.
Oh my god, that's right. That's crippling. Was my fortitude? Okay, I have a decent fort. And
especially in the middle of all of us.
And then it's your turn. 1. Do what you're gonna do. Fluff! I got a 6 total.
Yes. Okay, it can only attack or move, not both.
Oh, that's right. I forgot to say this before the stream because I was dealing with tech issues before the stream. Guys, if I swear while playing the game, scold me. I gotta practice for my charity stream next month because I can't swear while I'll be raising money for kids. So scold me if I say bad words.
Oh no!
I'll tell you.
Oh no!
Don't worry.
You know what I should do is every time I swear, I should like drop like 25 gold coins into your pockets or something, or 25 silver. There you go, into your pockets.
Hell yeah!
Yeah.
I'm okay with this.
But that's encouraging us to make you swear.
See that?
Every time I swear, I take 25 silver away from you guys.
No, that's worse. Why did you say something?
Regret. Instant regret.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So, I think it's 1, yeah.
Yep. So swift action, protection, judgment,
Mhm.
and I will charge it.
You are the only one not fatigue. You can run. You can charge.
Yep.
Go right ahead, sir. +2 chance to hit because of your charge attack.
Alrighty. Last 2 attacks of this battle axe have been a natty 1.
So therefore, it's a natty 20 incoming.
Yeah, let's go. Here we are.
This is just statistics in play.
Wait.
Oh,
It's a +2 for charge. as
it
well.
like went 20? Nah, never mind.
Oh, that was funny. That was funny. Oh, you could have potentially crit. So
So it's a
anyways, you do hit. You rush across the battlefield. Probably not. Do you war cry or anything like that? You are an orc of a.
Nah,
Okay.
I'm keeping it as quiet as I can.
So
And
war crying in mind.
damage. Yeah.
I'll let you roll
The
your damage.
eyes. The eyes are doing the war cry.
Oh, sexy! 11 points of damage.
11.
Jesus, that's wonderful. So you do 11.
That, if you ever crit something, you would just
Yeah.
it's splat.
So
Oh.
first, a crossbow bolt barely misses the thing. It looks past over his shoulder, like swearing it heard a crossbow. Not entirely sure what just happened. Heard the laughter turn into a chanting. Gets perplexed by that. Hit in the chest of the snowball. It's staggered for a moment as it's realizing what's going on and starting to look up. But it looks up to see an axe right between its eyes. And then you just, with a hard rip, you pull it off of its feet and down so it's eating the dirt down below. You lay the heel of your foot onto its snout and are able to pull your axe out of its head, pulling a bit of its brain matter with it behind. And the thing just
Yay.
dies instantly. And
Okay, immediately what I would do is walk straight over to where Jaden is, chuck her on my shoulder and say, let's go.
Okay. And just so you know, I like Unfunny's idea. If you guys catch me swearing, I'll look at chat. The last person to have said something will get 100 daddies. That's how we'll do it. There we go.
Yeah.
It's for charity, right? It's for charity. That makes sense. So you grab Jaden's body, her corpse, and you just hoist it up over your shoulder, a fireman carry or whatever. So I suppose sideways over your shoulder, and you just turn back and start hoofing it. Let's see how far back you guys can hoof it. You're gonna start.
Tired.
You're gonna start traveling back, at least an hour's travel back.
Oh, jeez.
At least an hour's travel back.
I mean, yeah, but think of it this way: if we can get back to the keep, we can lock ourselves in and
Yeah,
rest
just
as soon
rest.
as we need.
I don't think we'd make it to the keep, but if we make it out of
Yeah.
Noland, we'll be much
That's a
safer.
good point. Yeah.
So why don't
Nice.
you make your fortitude saves?
Oh my god.
Okay.
Oh, thank fuck.
All right. One, holding it together. The DC is climbing every time, but somehow holding it together, hoofing it along. Valrin actually plateauing, not getting any more tired now. Probably adrenaline rushing, knowing everything that's going on. We're talking a solid hour. You guys just hoof it. No, you're not running. My apologies. I did not say hoof. You're not running, but you're trekking as fast as you can, just trying to get out of this territory. After about that hour's time frame, you've seen the tracks that were around you have more or less subsided. You're definitely outside of well-traveled Knoll territory, but certainly within the area that they come from while they're starting to do their hunts. And you have no doubt in your minds that they're going to go. They're going to walk past that body as you guys are traveling. So you do get out of where is their land, but you're definitely walking along one of their paths. Where do you go now? Because I imagine you don't just set up camp here.
No. One.
No, I would look for somewhere rocky where we're not going to make as much of a imprint into the land. And I would still suggest we keep going. We don't camp until they're literally falling with exhaustion.
Raren would lean himself against a tree and say, perhaps if we find some running water, we could mask our scent and then have a breather for a little while.
Yes, I think as much as I would like to rest, we should get to safety first.
So you guys are, I mean, obviously they're going to continue going forward. You couldn't recall seeing any rivers or streams or anything like that nearby to do what you were talking about, Neil, for hiding scents. So unfortunately, you don't think that that's quite going to be an option.
Are we near that cave that we camped in?
You guys did, no, that's, you're on the northern,
that's Agent
you're on the
Command,
northwestern edge. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're going to want to hover back somewhere else. So where do you try to veer off path? Do you want to go up into the hills? Do you want to stay down here in the valley? What's the plan? Either way, you're gonna have to move further. You're gonna have to get off of this trail.
I would say into the hills,
Okay. Do you want to push for
getting
another?
a high ground and like a rocky surface.
Do you want to push for another whole hour?
One would definitely suggest it.
Okay.
Okay. One last fortitude save then.
Oh, thank fuck. Oh no, Raven.
Rayron actually succeeded his last one, didn't he? Fairly well, because he plateaued after fatigue, so he's actually fine right now. Valorant rolled really well. Wow. So you guys pushed on for what's this, like 5 extra hours in total or something like that. At the end of it, no doubt in your mind. You're tired. You're done. You need sleep. You think if you push on any further, you're going to be looking as sad as these two do. However, the two of them are able to stop themselves at fatigue. Both of you on the edge of turning into exhausted. Just so you know, mechanically exhausted is -6 to strength and dex. Cannot run and charge, and even a full night's rest will only put you back to fatigue. So you would be fatigued for all of tomorrow. Luckily, you've pushed yourselves an additional hour past where everything is, up and into the hills, and trying to get to the best possible spot where you can rest, you think. Do you want to push yourself one more hour to make sure you really widen that gap? Or do you want to set up camp here and make a survival check to find the spot? Before you make that decision, roll me a perception check, each of you.
Oh god. No. Perceptive boy has
Hi there,
failed.
guys. I'm the human, and I can't see anything, though I can hear these gnolls because for the past 5 hours I've had no sense of sight. So my
That's
hearing
true.
has
Yeah,
just
you
turned
just
on.
sort of honed it on the hearing.
You can hear echoing from down below laughter at one point at a point in time, but the laughter that you hear doesn't, the chittering noise, that laughter that you hear doesn't sound like the laughter that you've heard them when they were kind of like talking beforehand. It almost sounds like there's this angry noise to it, like there's a purpose to it. It's far off. It's very far off, but you can hear it echoing off in the distance. Do you try to mask your scent in selves and camp here, or push yourself one last time?
I think they've found our scent. I can hear something.
Shit. Oops, sorry.
You can cuss, I cannot.
Okay, good.
Are we far enough from the body to not be able to hear, like, as in that was the discovery of the body? Or
Yeah, that this would be pursuers, not the body, basically.
yeah,
Yeah, must be. There's no way I can hear like several hours. Ago.
yeah,
No,
yeah.
no. Two hours ago, you won't be able to hear that.
They're definitely in pursuit.
Damn it, I only have a single potion of Pass Without Trace. Otherwise, I would suggest we use that. It's not possible to, like, just pour out a little bit for each of us. Didn't think so.
A little top me up.
Yeah, I've got a potion of Pass Without Trace, a potion of Hide from animals, but that's all I have in that sort of area. If we had 3 of them, I would suggest we each take one of them. Just hope that the combined thing works.
So there's actually a PRC, I think in Pathfinder, but definitely in 3.5 that allows you to ration out potions.
So,
Yeah, for a lesser effect, for like a weaker effect.
If we
I mean, we could try that.
Well, that's a PRC. You guys can't do it. PRC means
Oh.
prestige class. My apologies.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm
got
sorry.
it. Okay.
Sorry.
if we climbed a tree, we could at least have some modicum of defense against the creatures.
It's unlikely we'd be able to mask our centers.
I have an idea. If we find a place to hide, one of us travels a little ways out, drinks the potion of Pass Without Trace, and comes back. It would mean the scent continues on, and then stops.
We're all exhausted. Sending someone out alone, or even separating us, could mean our death.
This is very true.
We're on a hill here. We can simply roll the body down to the bottom. They won't continue on, I imagine. It is time to be pragmatic, not romantic.
These gnolls are going to seeing the body there, I fear will not stop them. I fear that they will continue to come after us anyway.
It sounds as if you said they sound angry. I get the feeling they're out for revenge.
What time of the night is it?
Very late. You know, you guys usually go to bed shortly after dusk. You know what I mean? It's one of those, like, as dusk is happening, you're finding your camp. Then, like, an hour, maybe 2 hours at most after that, people are laying to rest and somebody else is set up for camp. This is well into the night. Dusk was like 4 hours ago. 5 hours ago, you know? Maybe 2 in the morning, you know? Because it's springtime. 1 in the morning, whatever.
We should rest.
Is there any caves or anything around in these hills?
It's a survival check, sir.
I think, yeah, looking for a good place to set up now. I'll have the I will have the sun stick ready. If worst comes to worst, I will activate it and throw it into the middle, so we can at least see what we're fighting.
You can get a bonus to your survival check from them.
Okay, sweet. I'll roll that.
So you get the +2. Oh, you rolled well.
24.
Nice.
Are you happy with 24? Do you want to add? No. I imagine you're happy with 24, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you are looking around, and you actually are looking about, and maybe you feel like you're wasting your time. You should be moving on, not necessarily staying still, but you might find something worthwhile. And your diligence pays off. After about like 8 or 9 minutes time searching, every second passing building anxiety inside of you, thinking that every branch that you hear snapping, every gust of wind going by might be a gnoll with a spear looking to eat your innards. You find a small cave mouth, but more importantly, you find a small cave mouth ever so slightly hidden by a patch of fir trees. If there's one thing you know about firs, what are they called? Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, like evergreens. They are stinky. They're the quintessential Christmas tree. The one that when you first walk in, it has an immediate odor that punches you in the face. You think if there was ever a place to try to hide your odor and selves, maybe this is it. Peering into the cave to try to see what's inside there, unfortunately, the cave is not ideal for fighting. The plus side to it is it's going to force itself to a bottleneck. One gnoll at a time will be able to come in. The downside is it's low on the other side. Maybe one of you at the highest point can stand full up, but the rest of you are going to be fighting in a crouched position, taking the penalties for fighting in small spaces. Which means like no swinging weapons, stuff like that. You're going to need thrusting weapons. But you can all fit in there. The 3 of you and the corpse can stuff yourselves into this small cave. 2 of you can fight at a time with thrusting weapons. Maybe even 3 of you as well if you work out a good strategy.
Well, I would be using magic, so I wouldn't be using a thrusting weapon.
So you don't have big gestures. So
So I wouldn't be able to swing my axe.
Unless you were the one that was standing. We could make it so you're the one that gets the spot where you can stand.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, if you were to stand alone, only you fighting, you could easily use your axe. But if you have somebody fighting adjacent to you, you might have a chance of hitting them.
Yeah.
This seems like our best plan. For all we know, these things are happy to pursue us all night. We should attempt to hide here, and worst comes to worst.
We will give it our all.
You guys make your way into the cave, and then, of course, as you were talking about beforehand, do the best you can to hide your scent. I'm going to require from you one last survival check as you're trying to utilize the fir trees to hide your scent as much as possible entering this cave. Do you use any other tactics that you can think of to hide your scent beyond, of course, utilizing these trees? And feel free to roll one.
I would give one the potion of pass without trace, so he can drink that while he's doing the getting rid of tracks.
Okay.
So he can't not set more tracks while doing this.
Okay.
So yeah. So he only has to focus on getting rid of tracks. So yeah, I would hand that over to one.
Roll your survival check 1, and then remove that potion from your list. 1, when you drink this potion, it tastes like nothing. Has literally no taste, and it's so thin, it's almost like you inhaled, you know what a humidifier is, right? Or like a nebulizer is? So you know how like when you inhale that, it's almost like moist air? It almost, as you drink it, it's, well, you know what I mean? Like a thick, as opposed to just being, you're in a basement. So it's almost like you drink this and you expect like a liquid to roll down your throat, but instead it was more like inhaling this like thick cloud. And so you're like, yeah, it's a vape. Yeah, there you go. It's a vape. So like, that was very strange. But for the first time in a long time, you guys don't smell one. Thank God, because, you know, he is an orc. So roll me that survival check, sir.
Okay.
Use the
Do I get
rage
any,
test.
do I get any bonuses or anything? For-
No, but I'm going to set a DC for you.
Okay. Alright, here we go.
And you could always give yourself a bonus. Do you have a chance to make it a 30? You want to roll a luck?
I think we should. I don't know. Do you guys want me to, or you want to stick with that 26?
There's no way they're being a 26.
So you quaff this potion, or I should say you inhale this potion, and you go out there and you cut off quickly and as quietly as possible. You break off some branches from the fir tree, and you immediately just start stuffing them inside the cave and breaking it up and handing them like rub these around, break up, like get the syrup, get the resin and everything off of these trees as much as possible. Rub it on your body, get that sticky, nasty sensation.
If we're trying to get the resin, Rarin would like run his hand down it. He can just generate a blob of acid in his hand to just strip the bark clean off.
There you go. Strip the bark clean off and just kind of utilize all that as much as possible. You then grab a branch and you immediately start using this stinky branch to run down the hill and literally break up your tracks, so they don't exist there with the stinky stuff.
You're hitting a null in the face.
As much as possible. You're going down there. I just need one more check from you. One last check. A stealth check.
Oh,
Yay.
but you have pass without trace. So I don't know if that gives any bonus.
Stealth.
And while he rolls that stealth check, why don't we take our final break and come back to see what the result is of that. We'll be back in a moment.
Oh my god.
Back.
Use luck.